log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG, LLC.
In the beginning, there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories, and he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor. But it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. We got another good one, ladies and gentlemen. We got another good one. So let me just give you a quick overview. So recap, last week we had a great show. We had Ed Ramsey. Then we're going to play the hottest song of the week, according to Track Source, in the Soulful House category. We're going to talk about some stuff that's coming, with some stuff that's going on. Then we'll play Classic. And then after that, we're going to start the interview. This week, it's DJ Nubian. So this is super exciting. Chuck, according to Track Source, the number one Soulful House song is Yuke's Tasha LaRae. By the way, if you don't know who Tasha LaRae, she was the original female artist with Arrested Development, and of course she's done tons of stuff since then, and she has this track called Wishing on a Star. So Chuck, would you put on the track? And as usual, we're going to play a snippet because it's nasty man don't have it shutting us down and moving us out. House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. Listen, I had a great weekend this weekend. This Saturday, I was at Hope's event. Hope and Naeem put on the event at the Doubletree in Newark. I've been talking about it for weeks. We had a great turnout. Just want to give a big shout out to Hope and Naeem for putting on this event and all the people who work with them. I also, too, want to give a big shout out to Cassie. Cassie's one of the shy vets. She's part of the Soulful House Nation team. She went out there and represented. Also, too, you got to give it up. There were some tremendous designs, outfits. You want to give it up to the models, to the people behind the scenes. Also, too, you want to give it up for Tyrone Chablis and the House of Salima. And then there were some other designers there who I didn't get to meet. But let me tell you something. They brought it. Of course, Soulful Messiah was on the decks. I don't even have to tell you with that situation. Hey, then too, I want to give a big shout out to Mukadeen. Mukadeen is my partner in crime when it comes to doing these kind of video shoots. He makes me look professional. The event was called L'amour d'un noir, which means the love of black. And it really, really, really was a very, very powerful event. So shout out to Hope, Naeem, the crew, before the crowd, the crew, behind the scenes, and all the people connected with it. I need to tell you, the Doubletree is a nice hotel, straight up classy. But that's how they do things. If you follow Hope and Naeem, you know that they only do it first class. So big shout out, congratulations on a successful Saturday night. June 3rd, Chris Nelson is doing his thing, his annual house music event in Matano Park in Elizabeth. That's going to be on June 3rd. That's going to be another big event, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If anybody's gone to these events, you know what it is. So plan on going there. Then July 8th, we're in Anchor Park. That's going to be the 8th annual Roselle House Music Festival. Another jam-packed event. You need to be there. It's going to be crazy, as they usually do there. Then I also want to tell you about Tawanda Gray. Tawanda and Antonio are doing a show called House Calls. And it's a fun little thing. I got blessed to be on it. And I'll be on it, I think June 12th is the date that I'll be on. But, check it out. She's doing big things. He's doing big things. They're doing big things down there. So, Chalk, let's play our old school track. This one is from the Fatback Band. By the way, the Fatback Band was the original made I Found Love. Now, Jeff Redd got a lot of credit for it later. I think it was in the 90s. And he did a great job with it. But just so you know, I Found Love was originally done by the Fatback Band in the 70s. How about that? So they had this other song back in the day in the 70s called Disco Crazy. Chalk, as usual, we only play a little snippet of it because Facebook has this nasty habit of shutting us down and muting us out. Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, our special interview today is with DJ Nubian. Now, for those of you who don't know, she's one of the lady DJs, and what you should be aware of is she's from the BK, and also too she's showing up in more festivals. They're putting her on. She brings the juice. I could tell you personally. Not only have I seen her online, but I actually, she is a joy, and I saw her play personally, and she's off the hook. All right, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start the interview with DJ Nubian, and what's also you're gonna notice is that it wasn't given to her, and she's gonna tell about her journey, etc., etc., etc. So, Chuck, when you're ready, let us know. Also, I just got a word here that for whatever reason it's not showing up. I don't know why. All right. DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation. We're coming to you live from the 8th floor. Let's run the interview.
Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. We got a good one, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good one. DJ Nubian. Now, just so you know, I've been tracking her for some time, and I finally got a chance to meet her at the New Jersey House Music Weekender, and she was wonderful. And one of the things I detected right away is that she has a sense of humor. So, so with that said, we're going to have some conversation. We're going to have some fun. We're going to share. We're going to go like that. So, DJ Nubian, always like to start off on the east side. Just tell us a little bit about you.
I'm 5'1", but people tend to think I'm shorter than that. But no.
Okay.
Yeah, because everyone jokes about how short I am. So every time I have to do a set, a lot of the guys, they already know. They go, if anyone's ever been to any of those gym classes where you step on those little steps,
Yes.
So they stack them up for me because I have a hard time reaching them because I'm short and I can't get to it. So I start off with the joke. And I listen, it is what it is. I'm not growing anymore. And it's all right with it. I'm good. Like I talk a lot. I'm small in height, but I'm big in stature. So, and I'm big in character as well. So that's just how that is. But yeah, I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, the BK.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, and I'm a multi-genre DJ. I play more than just house music. I actually did a couple of bar mitzvahs and Indian weddings, African weddings. My specialty, my passion is house. My other passion is 90s hip hop and R&B. Like, I was born in the 60s, so by the time the 90s came around, I was in my 30s. That's when I was just really feeling myself in the clubs, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my thing. So yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, and I just love music.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's interesting? You said I would say 99 out of 100 DJs that I talk to, and producers and the house music artists even have some hip hop in their background. So that is so like in line with what that background is when you talk to DJs. And now, how about this? Now, how did you get started with music?
Okay, so very interesting story. So I am what was called an attention seeker, and as a kid, I did a lot of things for attention, and I was always bouncing around, very active. Always, my mom called me a precocious child.
Okay.
Inquisitive. That was just a nice way of saying nosy, but like so. I kept her busy. So what she noticed is my mom likes music too. She used to sing in a band, and she's Caribbean, so she used to sing in a band back in the Caribbean, and she would play music in the house. And she noticed that I would calm down when the music came on, and Kids start bouncing. So back then they had the stereos, with the four legs. You
The
open up,
stereo.
you turn the knob on one side with the AM FM dial, the little line that went up and down, and the other side had the record player. So I'm telling my age when I say that.
I'm gonna try to act like I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, but you're laughing, so that tells me something else. So it's all good. But they had legs, and she would tie me to the leg of the stereo, and she noticed that I was calm. When the music was on, I would bounce, and she's like, okay, and as I got older, I realized that music was the one thing that would calm me down, because I say this a lot. There is a song written for every single human emotion. I don't care what you do through or what you're feeling. Someone has identified with that feeling and wrote a song about it. So that's why they say music is the universal language. So that being said, I fell in love with music because sometimes I wasn't able to express myself orally. As you can tell now, I've learned how. But and music just does it for me. Like, it takes me out of whatever it is I'm going through, and helps me go through whatever it is I'm going through.
Interesting. Now, how about early music and DJ influences?
So, Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
Back in the day, it was Grandmaster Flash. Melly Mel. Molly Ball. DJ Scratch. AJ.
Okay. Preach.
Anything from Sylvia Robinson from back in the day, when like Eighth Wonder, Message, when they would scratch records like what was it, Good Times? Everybody was from
Good Times, right?
Yeah, everybody scratched the break part of Good Times all the time. That's when Rapper's Delight came out, and anything from Sylvia Robbins' label. It was the blue label on.
Oh yeah, okay.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And so once we started scratching that, I'm like, oh, I think I could do that, and I can't scratch up so many of my mother's records. It's ridiculous. Like, but, yeah.
It's funny. So let me tell you my Sylvia Robinson story. Now, let me preface this by saying, okay, I'm gonna take that back. This is research. Anyway, so back in the day, I was DJing at Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Okay.
And these young people come into the party, crash the party, which is fine, because it was a college party. And they said, oh, I got this record. It's like the hottest thing since sliced bread. And I said, okay, here we go again. But you know what? For whatever reason, I just felt like, okay, let me just put it on and see what happened. It was Joey Robinson, and the song, are you ready for this? Was Rapper's Delight.
Nah, stop it.
Oh yeah. Now, Fairleigh Dickinson is in Teaneck, and they were right in Inglewood, so they were like right next door in terms of the town. And I guess they heard about the party, they came in, we got this hot thing, was hot off the press, and boom, put it on. And hey, and then here's the second part of that story. So Hippie Torales, and I've teased him many times about this, was playing at Zanzibar, and unbeknownst to me, Hippie Torales had the Richard Long sound system. We could take the bass in and put the all that. And so he was doing that with that song. So I'm getting ready to DJ this party, and I'm DJing, having a good time, and I'm gonna cut all the bass out, just have the treble.
Right.
Now, see, I didn't know that required a special system, and I blew up my friend's speaker.
Oh, wow.
So, $250 later, got everything straightened out. But anyway, when you mentioned Sylvia Robinson, that triggered my mind. But wait, I'm sorry. That wasn't me, that was research. Okay.
That was research? Oh, that's
research.
Okay. We can roll with that. It's okay.
We can roll with that, right.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Now, how about some Caribbean influences, since mine was Caribbean?
So the Mighty Sparrow, Calypso, but and I'm going back now. We talk because my mother's from Aruba, so
Okay.
so of course we got some Lady Soul, but that came a little bit more further on towards more present. Well, not even more present. Now it's mostly Afro beats and DeVito, Kid and stuff like that.
Sure.
But yeah, so we talking Calypso Rose, the Mighty Sparrow, of course, Shabba Ranks from the '90s, and my mother was more of a Calypso person. My grandma was more of a Caribbean merengue person because my grandma was from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, so my family is from all over the Caribbean. So I'm the only American-born person here.
I bet a lot of people didn't know that. Hey, now since you mentioned this, I've never known the difference between soca and calypso. Is there a difference, or can you tell me?
It's a slight difference. The thing about soca is more of a higher BPM than calypso.
Oh, okay.
Calypso is like I'd say Calypso was more 110, 115, more like the speed of hustle music.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Classics, like classic house, like Gwen Guthrie type, like anywhere from
Oh, okay.
107 to 115.
Okay.
Where soca is more like merengue, that fast, like from 120 to quick, fast beats. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing about that is because when you say I'm a multi-genre, I can spin from soca straight to house to merengue,
Right.
seamlessly from one year because it's about the same beats per minute. So, yeah, that's the difference.
Okay. All right. Now, how about this? How did you get the name? No. Tell me some of your DJ influences. Put it that way.
Well, like I said, one was Spinderella.
Spinderella.
Because then I was like, there are women DJs. Oh wow, I could do that. You know what I mean? Because most of the DJs were guys.
Yes. Even today.
Yeah, but we making a strong name for ourselves right about now, though.
And I agree. And a little bit later, I want to go into that.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So Spinderella. It was definitely her because when I started looking at Salt and Pepper, I'm like, what?
It was here to stay.
It was killing it. Exactly. Push in the bush. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, they was killing it. I'm like, yes. But I, as I look back and I hear the fact that she was playing music, the skill set that she had and the skill set that DJs have now, totally different.
Okay.
Totally different. But that was an influence for me because that let me know that it was okay for me to be a woman and be a DJ.
Now, what if you said the skill set was different back then versus now? Explain that a little bit.
So back then, it was more about the blend and the scratch.
Okay.
Remember, people were scratching records back then. DJs scratch now, but because the technology is different and it's not vinyl and the sound is different, because I don't know, you can hear the difference between a vinyl track and a digital track. I mean, if you got the ear for it, you can hear it. But the skill set back then, they didn't blend as much on beat as we do now. Like you go to the clubs back in the day, like the Garage, Limelight, Club 41, Danceteria. These are the clubs that I went to. The Shadow. You would play a song and then you would play the next song. It wasn't necessarily a blended track. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, we're more into the mix. Like make sure that the blend is seamless. Make sure that the tone is correct. The song goes with the next song. They didn't blend like that back then.
Right. Okay.
I didn't see.
Now, how about this? How did you get the name DJ Nubian? And what's the Nubian experience? What is it?
Okay. So that came about because there was a person I was dating at the time and she chose the name Nubian G. I'm like, oh, because she was very into Afrocentric, things. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I'm gonna take, because her first name started with a G, and of course my name starts with a D. and I'm not telling you what it is.
Okay. That's all right. But I already know, but I'm not going to say anything.
I know. Like, once you get me on social media, you figure it out, right? I know. I'm doing. But I said, all right, so I'll go with Nubian D. And as I took the name and I started to venture out into more of my own person, realized that I had a lot to offer as a black woman. And so then I started growing my locks. And I decided that with that, I'm going to be Nubian D, and Nubian meaning an African queen. I was a little bit skeptical when I took the name and I decided to venture out and play in other genres, other venues, because I always thought that non-black people, non-African Americans would not hire me if they looked at my name. I thought I was changing myself and keeping myself in a box, but I realized that I'm proud of who I am, and I should be able to express that. So that's why I kept the name Nubian D. The Nubian experience, however, is sorry about that. The Nubian experience, however, is I took that on as the name of my company because it is an experience to experience me playing music. It was supposed to be a company, and I had a couple of other women working with me, but I'm driven and I'm determined. And if you're not driven and determined and you want to be and you want to do this, then I'm not gonna coddle you. Like we gonna do this, and you gotta show up, gotta practice, you gotta put in the time and the effort if you want the rewards of what this thing can give you. And if you don't want to put in the time, then I can't help you. Like when I didn't have it, I would chase people down. Listen, you in Philly, I'm on the bus, I'm coming. You know what I mean? They didn't show up, so it became an experience, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep that name. It's the new. This is what I'm experiencing right now. So that's how that came about.
I mean, like I'm talking to you, and you're triggering me left and right here, but I gotta share these two thoughts with you. Number one, you mentioned the name. Now, I will tell you, if give my choice, I'm a spin house, but I do a lot of parties. Most of them are open set. And what's interesting is I would say 80% of the parties I do for people don't look like us. Now, most of the people that get me are referred to me. And I do dozens of parties, private parties a year. Just did another one on Saturday. No, Sunday. And I got more coming up next week, the week after. But now, here's what's interesting. They know who they're getting, but since they know, or I came referred, and they know what I do, and many times I integrate the room, but they're good with it because they know what I do, they know I'm going to bring it. Okay, second thing, you said, that triggered me. Drive. So, most people want the baby, but they don't want to go through the labor pain, which is very true if you think about it. And without a doubt, when I started doing this thing called Soulful House Nation, this is going in August, will be 7 years. There were 8, 10 people who said, "Oh yeah, Dan, I'm down. Let's go." But when the work started, there was only one person left, and that was TR. All right, and then later, Joy came along. My niece Joy came along, but it's just that you are so right on both those points. And hey, I commend you for saying, you know what? Hey, I want this. I'm not playing around. Y'all can stay here. I'm gonna be right there, sitting there while I go make this thing happen. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my little box. But you started.
I get it though. I get it, and the thing is, what I've had to learn in this is that if you get into a relationship and you have a partner, they need to understand one, and you also need to understand that you can't let this thing obsess you to the point that you forget about everything. Because I have 2 children, 4 grandchildren, and then I have a mom, and I have a partner, and sometimes I get into this, and I'm like, I have to like set a schedule, like Tuesday is like this day, and Thursday is that day, and I won't take a gig the third Sunday or Saturday of the month because I have to dedicate that to the family. And then when we go out, like if I go out on a date, we can't go anywhere with his music. Don't set yourself up because you're gonna be sitting there across the table talking to me, and I'm not gonna pay attention because I'm gonna be like, did this guy just play? Did they you know what I mean? So we could go to the museum, we could go to the movies, we could go to dinner, and hopefully it's not a DJ at the dinner at the restaurant. So I'm like, listen, if you into this thing, like I'm into, like I'm into this thing. This is what I do. This is what I live. This is what I believe. So I have to make compromises.
I totally get it. How did you get into house music, and who are some of your favorite artists, the classics, and today's stuff? How did that happen?
I was well, I just did an article in Deep House magazine.
Yes.
Right. And they were asking the same question. So what happened was I was really into hip hop in the 80s and the 90s. Maybe commercial house, if anything, because back then it was called R&B, and then it was called club music. So, and I don't mind dancing to a faster paced music. I'm dancing and having a good time. But as life would have it, my life took a turn for some negativity, and when I decided to make changes and come back to a different road, I decided that I wasn't going to play music anymore. But I went to an event. And they played everything. They played everything. And, they started off slow, with the reggae, and they build up the tempo. And when they got to the house part of the party, which was a little bit later on in the night, the energy got me. I was like, oh, I like this. I like this. And then every time I went and this particular DJ played, I would be there and I'd be right by the speaker. And I'm like, I like this. And I followed him around wherever he went, and I'm like, oh, wow. And a friend of mine that knew him, we were close, so I started DJing on my laptop with software, virtual DJ.
Sure. How many people started with that?
And I just had the little decks on the computer and slide them up and down with the computer. And I'm like, okay, I think I can make a mix of blend. And then I started recording them. And then I was like, whoa, it don't sound that bad. And I let a friend of mine listen to it. And he's like, you have an ear for music. I'm like, now. I'm like, well, dude, I DJ back in the day when it was vinyl, with the techniques and the Gemini and the TAC, with the TAC, the receiver and the amp. You put it together with the equalizer. It was all in the component set with the glass door that you open and close. Remember that back in the day? Exactly. We had that. So, so did all of that. I'm like, word? I'm like, okay. So he said, you got an ear for music? I'm like, so I decided to buy a controller, and I got some music from somebody, and I sat home and I practiced and I let people listen. They like, Nubian, you have an ear for this thing. Maybe you should go ahead and pursue it. And I did. It wasn't easy in the beginning, though. It wasn't easy. It wasn't.
See, you want to go through those labor pains.
Yeah, they laughed at me. They called me all kind of names. I gave them my CDs to listen to. They threw them down on the ground. They told me, you're okay, but you're not as good as so-and-so. Why are you buying equipment? You're not going to do this. You're going to, and you can't tell me what I'm not going to do. See?
That's out.
No, you can't. What you did is you put a battery in my back. You should
I'm listening to you talk, and of course, I know about the techniques and the Gemini, the TF, research. But so many people. I was talking with a gentleman today about being out there like that, and you really, to get good, you really got to be willing to be bad. for a while. And most people are not going to be willing to work through the bad. They're not going to be, certainly not going to be able to work through any criticism. They're certainly not going to be able to work through, you ain't got it, you're wasting your time, why you spending money? Most people can't, I'm not saying they, let me rephrase it. Most people don't have the, I'm going to say the emotional strength, the psychic strength, psychotic strength just popped in my head, but let me put that aside. But most people don't, they just don't have the word I'm looking for, emotional fortitude, to be able to work through that. And I think it's important that people hear this, because maybe they are struggling now. And maybe they're saying, nah, I'm gonna throw this away. And then when they hear your story, and first of all, you know, you're like popping. And they say, well, wait a minute. I do have this desire in here, but hey, I got to get my game up, you know? So, and I just got to keep going.
Because I'm not, listen, I can't, I'm like I said, I'm 5'1".
Okay.
But I'm big in stature because I have a Napoleon complex.
Okay.
You can't tell me, no, you can't tell me. What? I can't what? That I can't do what? What you say? No, you didn't say that. Did you say that? Okay. Gotcha. I'm one of them I'm gonna show you type of people. I'm gonna show you. I'm not even gonna say anything anymore because I'm not gonna fall flat on my face and say I'm gonna do this and then I don't. I'm just gonna be like, okay, no worries. And I have fallen on my face plenty of times.
Again.
Plenty of times. The sound wasn't right, the mix was mixed up, double B. People looking at me like, what are you doing? Cleared the floor, you know, all of that. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, that was horrible. I mean, horrible. But I didn't stop.
You gotta, listen, let me take, I've said this before, some other people have had me say it, you know, tough times, tough experiences, bad times are like gas, and it came to pass. Anyway, so how about this? How about some of your favorite artists from back in the day and some of the people that you're listening to now?
So, well, when it comes to hip hop back in the day, we talking Common, Jay-Z, Tupac, of course Biggie, Nas, 50 Cent. I was just talking to a friend of mine about the Locks.
Okay.
The original Rough Riders. Talk about with Jada Kiss, DMX, Eve, Swiss Beats. I'm talking about, and I'm talking about hip hop. That was my thing. Like that was I love me some hip hop. I'm not ever gonna let that go. So when it got to the club music, I really started following Monique Bingham.
Oh, sure.
Then Lockamy. She's from
yeah, I know.
Exactly. Started following her, and then I got into, you know, the commercial with Black Coffee Superman, and heard that, and I'm like, this is some smooth stuff right here. And then I transitioned over to like Ralph Gum. I like definitely like some, but now like my number one producer, like I will follow this guy everywhere. Is Mark Lewis. Like
Mark. Oh yeah.
Mark, you give me Mark Lewis, Mark Francis, Drew Paris,
okay,
Tariq Brody, give me them four guys.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. DJ Beloved and of course DJ Jihad. But give me the two Marks and Crew. That's it. Like that's the party. That's the party for me because it's just something about the beats that they put together. It's you know, and now vocalists, I would say now would be Cherie Hicks.
Okay.
I really like Cherie. I really like Cherie. As far as the female artists, when it comes to R&B, I would say her, SZA, And as far as the Afrobeat artists, I would say DeVito and Wizkid.
Okay. Now, you know, well, I mean, you didn't say anything wrong yet.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you know, the music is changing though. Like, more and more now, you're gonna hear gospel house, but certainly Afro house is becoming really, really a staple at most events, along with soulful. And it's pretty interesting to hear that stuff because I remember when it first started coming out, and a lot of it didn't have vocals in it. And I think more and more people now are willing to listen to Afro house with beats and chants here and there, compared to, let's say, if you go back, I know we go back in the day, even 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, you had to at some point switch to where you're doing vocal heavy music, and I'm seeing it more. That's not to say that you don't have Afro house with vocals, because you do, but I'm just saying more and more that Afro house has become a staple in the house music community, in our house music community. So that's one of the things I noticed. How about this? Where is house music heading?
Right there where you're talking about, Afro House. And I believe the reason is that, well, it's gonna be commercialized as well, trust me.
Okay.
Because you have Drake and you have Beyonce, right? Tracks out there, and and they're working with house producers, to housify the R&B. But it's really, if you get, let's say, you get Timmy Regisford,
Okay.
Joey Negro, and that's just two that are into remixes, right? So a lot of the tracks that you would hear, well, Timmy would do remixes of Afro.
Yes, he does a lot of Afro.
So but his Afro house remixes are original tracks of a lot of times African music. Older remixes were remixes of popular songs. The newer producers out now are doing remixes into Afro tracks, but of popular music. Have you ever? And every DJ has this app on their phone, Shazam, right? Of course, you go to the party, Shazam that, find out what it is. You Shazam the track, and it's not the track you're hearing, because it's the original track and it is probably an artist you probably never heard of before, because it's a different genre of music. So they're taking they're Afro housing popular tracks, and I believe the reason for that is they say that house music is spiritual, right? What other way for us to get spiritual and to get back to our natural African roots? And why take the name Nubian?
Okay.
It's a drum heavy sound. African drums. You see drummers at a lot of these festivals anyway, don't you? When they're out you see a lot of drummers, and they're out there for a reason, because they are in tune with the music. And I think that's where you're saying you're starting to see a lot of heavy Afro house influence in a lot of this music right now. So, and I'm with it. Listen, give me some drums and I'm feeling it. It's running right here. I feel it.
Let me go back a little bit, and so yeah, you mentioned some great DJs, and actually DJs producers. So Timmy Regisford and Mark Francis are very well connected, and Mark Francis and Crew Paris they're all three are joined at the hip. Yeah. Now let me share another thought with you. You talk about Mark Lewis. I mean, and you talk about taking a track So the big changes and rearranges, which is I mean, if you could argue so far maybe the song of the year in terms of like it's like automatic hit the dance floor, but that was not really a house track.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was more this lady singing, and it was kind of popish, rockish,
Yep.
and he
I think her name is Esnave or
Esnavi, exactly. That's exactly. And it was like, cause going back to what you said about the Shazam thing, of course, listen, I used to be embarrassed about, but now, hey, listen, I Shazam it right in front of your face. How about that? And I'll do it, I'll do it sometimes, I would say, at least half of the time, I don't know the track, but on the other hand, I'll do it because I want to remember that track. And that kind of keep me here. As a matter of fact, I do a thing on a weekly basis. I do a weekly set on my show. I call it the Shazam Free Zone. So not only play it, but I'll say it. And I play only new music in there. And more, that music is becoming Afro House. I'm telling you. And it's not to say, so anyway, so that's one of the things I see happening, and I see you see that happening too, huh? That kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm listen.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no problem Shazamming the track at all.
Absolutely.
Or I'll go ask you what it is.
Yeah, I'll do that too. Now, how about some of the DJs that you've played with? I mean, your resume is like out the door, around the window, down the street, off the elevator, down.
I don't think so.
I see you all the time.
I played with Timmy, Beloved. Played with Crew. I played with Nunu, Mills. Played with Tariq. I played with Hippie.
Okay.
Played with T Wise. I've played with I played with Just. I played with I haven't played with Amir or Jihad as of yet. The women DJs I played with Shonda Trent.
Yes, coming up with something with her too again.
Yeah, yes, we do. And I have played with let me see, Shonda, and that's the other thing. They would have a lineup and only put one female, but I'm not even gonna get into that. That's another.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna have some conversation.
So I played with Shonda, Millie, Nunu. Who else have I played with? From South Africa. What's her name? Zandy. I played with Zandy. I played with wow, there's so many names.
How about Sabine? You ever played with Sabine?
I have not played with Sabine. I played with that girl Curly.
Okay.
I played with mostly guys though, because I'm usually the only female on the ticket. So
now, is there anybody you want to play with that you haven't played with?
yeah, Jihad.
Jihad? Okay. All right. Okay.
I want to play with I played with Mark Lewis before. Want to play with Mark Francis.
Okay.
Mark Francis, those two. Yeah, I would like to play with I can't think of anybody else at the moment, but
It'll come to you. When we finish this interview, it'll come to you.
yeah, it probably will because I'm over 25. I'm just not gonna tell you how much I'm over, but it's a significant number. So
Okay. All right. Now, how about places you played? And is there any place that you want to play?
I played in Jamaica.
Okay.
On the island. Did a birthday party out there. I played in I did Times Square twice.
Okay.
Yeah, we shut down like 4 or 5 blocks. It was amazing. Like I played in South Carolina.
That's my family's from.
Okay.
Columbia. Excuse me. South Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. South Kakalaka, you know. And of course New York, Jersey. I'm supposed to be going to Chicago and DC soon. That's the works. So yeah.
You know, here's a question that just popped into my head. Many guys would kill to play all the places you've played. How come DJ Nubian has played in so many places and traveling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? What's maybe the secret sauce that so many others would die for, that you're able to get into these spots and on these bills?
Okay, so, and I've been asked that before. So because of earlier on when no one would give me an opportunity to play, and I would give out my CDs, and no one wanted to give me a shot. So I started putting on my own outside events, out of my own pocket. You know, I secured permits and paid for sound and bought equipment. Like some of it you can see back here. I would, you know, take up donations and stuff like that. And I started asking other DJs to play. And of course, I'm home base Brooklyn. I was asking Brooklyn DJs to play, and they were like, "Okay, no problem, to come out." And every event, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I started realizing it was always the controversy of New York DJs versus other states DJs. I'm like, aren't we all playing the same music though? Like, I didn't understand what the controversy was. So I stepped out of the box and I went to other states and I asked other states DJs to come to New York to play. And I got a lot of flack behind it. They were like, why would you bring out of state DJs here when we have great DJs here? I'm like, I understand that, but if we're going to be like a house community, why can't we all just be together? Like, it shouldn't be a separation. So I guess what happened is they started returning the favor and asking me to go there to play because I took the opportunity to allow them to come and play over here. Plus the fact that if I'm not playing and I don't have a gig, I take my little behind in my car and I go across the bridge. And I go support other DJs. Some people would, you know, I guess whatever the circumstances, may not have the opportunity to do that. So I try to support as much as I can. So I guess, you know, I'm, you know, resigned to the fact that what you put out in the universe, you get back. So you do good to others, and besides, I'm a fun-loving individual.
I know that.
Be around. You need to come hang out with me. I'm fun to be with.
I know.
You got, listen. Life is too short to be sitting around here trying to. Why they ain't call me? Why I ain't get no phone call? Man, listen, they ain't call me either. But I tell you what, I'm going over there to find out. Oh, what's going on? What you doing? What you doing? It may be something I'm not doing. There's 4 things going on in life, right? That cause controversy. Listen,
Okay. I'm listening. Watch this. Watch this. I got paper and pen.
Write this down. Write this down. Because after that, I'm gonna give you another jewel. So
what they say, this is a writer downer. How about that?
Right. This is the first jewel. The first jewel is this: 4 things that happen that cause controversy. All right. It's something you said, or something you didn't say. It's something you did, or something you did not do. Those things will always cause controversy. And I don't talk about just music. I'm talking about in life in general. Remember that. It's something you said or something you didn't say. Something you did or something you didn't do.
Okay,
That's
now.
what causes a controversy. The other jewel I'm going to drop is, we into the music thing, but always remember this acronym, AM/FM. You know what that means?
AM/FM.
Right. We ain't talking radio dial.
What's that?
We're not talking radio dial.
Okay, I figured that much, but I don't know what the AM.
AM/FM stands for this: always maintain forward motion.
Always maintain.
What happened? Don't care what nobody say, what they do, what they think, what they feel, how they react, how they respond. You don't stop.
Wow.
You just don't.
So, I got to tell you, whether people realize it or not, you've really given a formula for success here. There's a lot of people who feel that because they've been at it for X amount of time, that they should get the love. And it's more than that. It's, here's what I'm hearing, right? Okay, I mean, it goes without saying you gotta be good at your craft. That goes without saying. But you were promoting with CDs. You're going out to see people and connecting and networking. You're asking people to come to your parties. You're asking people to put you on. You were. There's things that you said, there's things that you did. So it wasn't like you were sitting flush. You did your own thing. You weren't like waiting to get appointed or anointed or appointed. And then also I hear too, is that, hey, you stumbled a lot too, but that didn't stop you. And you didn't sit and say, well, Billy Bob should put me on. And, here's my attitude. My attitude is, look, you know what? I love doing the interviews, but I love DJing. If you ask me if I had to put DJing or interviews, it's DJing hands down. But I understand that when people are spending their time, their energy, and their money, they have a right to pick who they want to pick. And you know what? And sometimes, hey, listen, you don't make the team. And
all the time, and I've learned, and I don't go around asking people to put me on either. I don't. I just don't. It's just the fact that, like I said, I think it's with the fact that there are not a lot of women DJs. There are more men, so it's a few of us, so we get more opportunity. The other thing is, I'm a lesbian, so I get a lot of pride events, so I'm able to get that. Plus, I play more than just house music, so I'm able to do that. Like, I don't stick myself in a box to say I'm only going to play house music. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing. If that's your lane, that's your lane. I would think, like, traffic moves faster than a one-way street in a four-lane highway than in a one-way street. You know what I mean? You have more opportunity. You could dip into this lane, you could dip into that lane, you could dip into that lane, and you're still going in the same direction, but you get more choices of how to get there. I mean, that's just my thing. I could be wrong, guys. It's been
no, it's work. It's work, and I go back to, hey, listen. You got to be your own yes. You put yourself on. Nobody's stopping you from saying, you know what? Every Thursday or Friday, whatever, I'm going to play. Nothing from stopping you from saying, maybe you find a location, you can find a spot, and the person says, well, we're not doing anything there that night anyway. So if you want to come here every Thursday night, set up and do stuff and see if we can bring some people in. So I'm just saying that, again, I think that there's a couple of people I admire in this business because they didn't wait till somebody appointed. And I say it all the time. There's Charles Dickinson, there's Steve Davis, Chillax, Frankie Vibe, and there's others too, but those are the ones that pop into my head because these guys are always putting on their own productions. They're not waiting for somebody to appoint them, anoint them, and appoint them. And again, I just say that, would I like to play more? Absolutely. But again, I can't be mad at somebody who say, hey, this is my team here. And hey, let's be honest, they might not even be feeling me. Or they might be feeling them. So all that comes into play. So anyway, I just really, really, really just say, hey, that's really, really good. And I think for those who are willing to listen, you've given a lot of good advice on how to make it, how to get popping here. You mentioned. I want to jump to this because you mentioned it before. Regarding being a lady DJ, do you see any particular challenges that maybe male DJs don't have, or advantages, yeah, sure you have visibility because you're a lady, but then the disadvantages, I didn't say disadvantages, I say challenges is more like what I'd like to say, and that kind of stuff like that.
It's rare that we're the headliner.
Oh, okay.
It's rare that we're the headliner. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen as often as it does for our male counterparts. But that being said, that's not just in the DJ world. That's just the way society is anyway. The other challenge is, I think I mentioned it before, is when you have a lineup, you have 6 DJs, not 3 women and 3 men.
Right.
4 men, 2 women, 5 men, 1 woman. The other thing is, with the disparity, I would love to see a lineup where there's 4 women and 1 guy.
Okay.
I would love to see that lineup. Like, really? Like,
DJ
that would be interesting.
DJ No, I just think blasphemy. What?
I might catch feedback for that statement. Someone might be like, "How dare
It would be
you?"
wonderful. It would be wonderful. What are you talking about? That would be unbelievable. Absolutely. That
would be nice. Or and the other thing is, why do we have to be called female DJs? Why do we have to be called lady DJs? Why do we have to be called women DJs? Why can't we just be called DJs? You say a doctor, it's automatically assumed it's male. You say a nurse, it's automatically assumed it's female. Why just can't be a doctor or a nurse? Like, why do we have to make a disparity between from one to the other? Like, I don't understand it, but I don't know everything, and that's why I guess I have 1 mouth and 2 ears, so I have to do more listening than talking, so I get it. So,
hey, you raised some really good points. Well, let me ask you this. How about this? There's this conversation about bringing younger people into the business. What's your take on it? How do we bring younger people in? What do they come into play as far as you're concerned? What do you say?
Younger people into house music or DJing yourself?
DJing, bringing younger people into house music.
Well, there are 3 that I know that, of course, we got Just, Amir, Jordan Pope. These guys are doing a great job. And that question was posed to them at the conference. Because they did a Q&A that I went to attend because I wanted to hear what their take was on that. And someone about my age asked them, why isn't that if they're DJing an event that they don't invite their friends? To come and listen to them, because we already know that we're going to be there. But why don't they invite their friends to come listen to something other than what they listen to? Because let's be honest, there is no house station on the AM/FM dial.
Hey,
I mean, you can get maybe Louis, Kevin on BLS back in the day when Kiss was out on 98.7. You would have that. But you can't turn on your AM/FM. But you can get some hip hop, R&B, reggae, soca, gospel. They even got a gospel station. Like, we don't have a network station on the AM/FM that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with a capital Y, a capital E, and a capital T, and a bunch of exclamation points. You're right. Yeah. So with that being said, it's up to us to get this music out to them. So when that happens, if you have younger DJs should be able to bring younger people in. But myself, the part I play in that, I have a 21-year-old granddaughter, and she wants to DJ, and I've taken her to a couple of events with me. Not to stand there and be cute, scratching it. No, I'm talking about you carry the speakers, the wires, the pole bag, all of that, set up the table, all of that stuff that goes along with it when you have to do an event that people don't see that's in the background. And I've told her, bring your friends with you, like invite your friends to come. But you know what they all say about house music? They say it all sounds the same. They say it's the same continuous beat. I'm like, so they need their ears open to it, So I don't. That doesn't mean we stop trying.
Right. How about you have an ear for music? Well, let me ask you this: do you produce, or is that on your bucket list of things to do?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Do you want to play overseas at any point?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How about this? You have an ear for music. I already know because I've heard you play, and I was at the Weekender, and I already know how you got the work in that night. What makes a hot track?
Bass line, melody, the tune. It doesn't necessarily have to have vocals.
Right.
But if it does have vocals, vocals have to say something. Like I said, there's a song written for every human emotion. The reason why that song changes is so high. It's basically a love song.
Okay.
So you can't go wrong with a love song. Everyone's experienced heartache, betrayal, hurt, or everyone's been in love before. So if you add that, and you have, because most of the time you get to a party, who are the first ones on the floor? It's not the men.
Right. Oh, without a doubt.
Not the men.
Don't play that.
It's the women. You get the women on the floor first because they want to say something. They have something to say. He did me wrong. You won't understand. And then he had the nerve to do this, and then you put a hot bass line to that and a beat, and you get them moving.
Okay.
Guys, because they like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna get up there. Exactly. Can I ride with you? Can I dance? Exactly. So you know how that goes. So if you get a nice bass line, and then if you get and you get them feeling it, and you add some really good vocals to it, they be like, Beloved is good at that.
Yeah.
You get a love song and you be like, oh man, no, he did not. No, he did not. When you get a tank track,
oh yeah, you see what he did with that, right?
You be like, oh. No, he did not. You be all up in your car, all in your feelings. I know he did not. No, he didn't do that.
Oh yeah. Well, you mentioned Beloved, but I've interviewed Beloved and Jihad, and you mentioned earlier about some of the things like people don't see they don't see the labor pains that those guys went through. And and you mentioned it again, just kind of triggers thoughts. How about this? You were at the New Jersey House Music Weekend. Okay, that's the first time that something has been done around our music. What was your thoughts on it? How did you feel about it? As a person who came to support, but also from a DJ perspective, what was your take on it?
I thought it was an excellent event. It was great in the short amount of time that the gentleman had to put it together. He did a great job. Of course, there were some challenges, around the event, but you live and you learn. The lineups were great. The Q&A part was excellent. He had vendors. It was in a nice venue. Parking was okay, especially for out of towners. He was able to accommodate people with rooms, for people that came, from out of town, which was great. The panel was good. The fact that they had interviews, they had enough cameras, it was videoed. Everyone got their piece put on YouTube, which was cool. I got to network with some folks, which I think was great. I really, and I said to him, I'm like, the success of this event, for it being the first time, you can't stop now.
Right.
You can't. People are going to be looking forward to this next year. Because they're gonna be like, "Oh man, it was so nice. I should have been there. I should have came." And I can't. The women's night was the first night, that Friday, and the men's night, as far as the DJs were concerned, was the Saturday. And I came back on Saturday because just because I wasn't performing didn't mean I couldn't show.
Right.
And just the opportunity to network, see in person the people you see online.
Yeah.
By face. Like I seen you online, but now I get to see you in person, and that was very exciting. I get excited when I get around my house family anyway. It's like it's a love for y'all. Like I can't describe. Like the pandemic hit me really hard, like I can't see y'all, I can't touch y'all and hug y'all. It was crazy. It was crazy, but yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, it was definitely a networking opportunity. Hey, I got a chance to meet you up close and personal, and hey, that's as a result we're here. She's a woman of her word. She said we could do this, and here we are doing this. So, and again, I had a chance. Of course, I've seen you online and know, but I had a chance to see you play live and forget about it. It was like off the hook. Like I say, you really have an ear for the music, and you have an ear for the crowd too. That was there, and everybody was like getting it in. I was like, I was my two-step and a one, and a two, and a one, and a one, two. That's right. You got two steps now.
Okay.
Well, I mix them up though. You see what I mean? I mix them up.
As you should.
Now, hey, going forward, what can we look forward to from DJ Nubian? Events, projects, etc., etc.
I have a few things coming up. I did the Plainfield Festival last year with Timmy.
Yes.
And they asked me to come back.
All right now.
Doing that. The state of New Jersey has embraced me, which I am so grateful. I have a lot of private stuff though, like yourself, a couple of weddings. I do a lot of stuff for the community as well. So I do a lot of stuff for the police precinct, a lot of senior citizen homes. Do a lot of stuff for them. So I have, I'm trying to start a contract with a director of, she has like 5 or 6 facilities where I can, provide music for them. Because, like I said, music is a universal language. So you can't go wrong with the Temptations and the Four Tops.
Anyway. Oh yeah, I'll be playing that. Hey, speaking of that, I have an event that we'll be playing the Temptations. Now it's funny because some audiences are way more versatile than other audiences. and your ability to walk into that room and say, okay, he's here, let me go in this direction. That and reading a crowd is essential. And just the ability to do that will get you work. And a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, so my attitude has always been like this. If I'm there for the audience, I'm really saying to myself, okay, what do I think would cause them to have a good time? Whether it's dancing, whether it's singing along, whether it's tapping their feet, because depending on, let's say you might have 85-year-old grandma who can't, isn't a walker, but tapping her foot or singing that song, for example, on Sunday, I play some Temptation, but I also play some Sam Cooke, Bring It On Home to Me. And they were just, it needs to be.
Change gonna come.
Yeah, they were, oh boy, they were in their glory because, so most people have a time when they were really, really on their music. And when you start hitting those songs and you start sparking those memories, it's very, very powerful. So, how about this? Any final thoughts that you would like to share? And if people want to follow you, keep up with you, and support you, how do they do it?
Well, I'm on Mixcloud under DJ Nubian. I'm also on YouTube, and but I'm mostly on Mixcloud. I was on Periscope when that was out. YouTube, Google, Facebook, of course, Instagram, TikTok. I'm trying to hit all the major social media. But I'm still, like I said, I'm over 25, so sometimes I need a little technical help when it comes to the TikTok stuff. I have to call my mom. How you do this? She like, listen, stop with that. Just show me how to do it and be quiet. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I post a lot of my events that are coming up. Some of them that are private, I can't post.
No. Yeah, I know.
But like I said, I do a lot of stuff for the community. A couple of years ago, I was putting on like 11 events throughout the summer, and it was, when I say it was exhausting, it was exhausting. It was like every weekend I was dragging equipment and trucks and all kinds of stuff outside. But that's why I need to go into the production side of business, so I can just sit at home and get me a homemade studio and do my whole thing in here. And with that, but moving forward, I want to get into the production part. And you want to catch me? You catch me on. I post my events. You catch me, like I said, on Mixcloud. My mixes are up there. I also show up to events with flash drives and CDs with them for purchase. And because, like I said, we don't have a radio station.
Right, we don't.
We don't have capital Y, capital E, capital T with exclamation points. Yes. But so you can catch me at those places.
Fantastic. Hey, DJ Nubian, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. I'm super excited. Again, I've been following you and watching you online and stuff like that, and that's cute. But, it was really, really a pleasure to meet you in person. And then I found out you had a personality too, which
me?
That was right up my alley.
The little 5'1" person, you talking about me? Little something. But that goes a long way being a DJ, though. You know that, right? Nobody wants to hire you if you got to, you walking around with the sad face.
Yeah. DJ Crouch. I got you.
Stop it. DJ Crouch. Okay, that's I got you.
Well, listen, hey, once again, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. For those of you who are watching this, this is SOULFUL House Nation. My name is DJ Dan. Dan, I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
God bless.
You as well.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. Hey, just want to give a big thank you to DJ Nubian for spending that time with us and doing that. For some reason or other, I know we got several comments that there was an echo. I don't know what or how that happened. When we recorded, we didn't have an echo, so I don't know. In the meantime, as you know, every week we have the Shazam Free Zone. One of the things I always like to do before I end the show, I always like to give a big shout out to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for them putting together our theme song. But also, I want to give a big shout out to Chuck Roberts for giving us the intro in the beginning. So we're going to go to the Shazam Free Zone, and we're going to play tracks that you haven't heard before. And, you know, we're in the Shazam Free Zone, we don't not only play it, but we say it. We're going to lead off with the brand new track by Anaya Weathers. It's called Don't Sit, Stand Up. Chuck, when you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go.